Welcome to Thursday's Tactical Tip. I'm Yoki Marson. We're here at Warriors Edge Armory. Today we're going to be talking about something that a lot of people underutilize, and that's dry fire practice. Now we're going to go over some very basic safety rules in the beginning that you have to follow. First thing I want you to do is make sure that your firearm is unloaded. Remove all ammunition from the room you do your dry fire practice in. You're then going to do this little bit silly thing. You're going to say out loud, "I am now beginning dry fire practice." You will then pick up your unloaded firearm that you have already visually and physically inspected. I recommend having a target that you have hanging on the wall or that you hang on the wall, not your TV screen, not every time whatever the actress's name pops out on TV, I'll dry fire at them. You need to make sure your dry fire practice is intentional, controlled, and safe. Way too many people have put a bullet through their TV, and thankfully, usually it's only through the TV and not into a neighbor, but just don't do it. So, you're going to have your target hung up on the wall. You're going to have said, "I am now beginning my dry fire exercise." Aim in at the target, get a good sight picture, finger goes to the trigger, squeeze the trigger. Concentrating during this whole process, hard focus on the front sight, making sure that you have good sight alignment onto your target. Hold the trigger back when you're done. Once you have that clean trigger break, you're going to grab the slide, rack it. I still have my finger held back. I'm going to reacquire my sight on my target, release the trigger till I hear the reset and feel the reset, and then pull the trigger again. Some of the things you're looking for when you're doing this. You want to make sure that when you pull the trigger, your sights do not get disturbed. So if you are here and you go to pull the trigger, and I'm going to exaggerate this a little bit, you anticipate the recoil, you feel that dip. You're going to want to come back out, go back to your trigger reset, pull the trigger, and it shouldn't move at all. What you're doing is you're practicing some of the fundamentals of your marksmanship without having to go to the range. Practicing trigger squeeze, trigger reset, sight alignment, sight picture, and you can help yourself break the habit of anticipating the recoil. Remember, when you're shooting, you're punched out. A lot of people, especially guys, try to stop the recoil of the gun. They know it's coming, so they're like, okay, I'm gonna keep the gun from moving when I... No. You want to have a firm handshake, like you're meeting your girlfriend or your fiance's father for the first time. Firm handshake. When the gun recoils, boom, let it recoil and bring it back on the target. The other thing you're practicing here is reacquiring your sight picture, okay? Now, obviously, if I am dry firing and I come here, that's the break in sight picture. I'm now punching back out and I'm reacquiring the same sight picture. That means I'm aiming at the same spot on my target. One of the reasons I want you to do this, it will help you follow through on your shots. Remember, when you have live rounds on the gun, you're at the range practicing, you should see your sight picture 2 times for every round that is fired. That means it's sight picture, boom, sight picture, and this is where I go back out to my reset. You may not realize it, but subconsciously, you will look over your sights to see where your bullet hit if you don't practice follow through. You'll come forward, boom, where did I hit? And your body actually starts to move prior to the round leaving the barrel. If you find yourself with rounds hitting low a lot, centered but low, there's two options. You could either be mashing, but if you eliminate that option, I'm not mashing, I can tell that, then more than likely you're trying to see where your hits are. Fun game to play at the range, which we'll do a video on, is calling your shots. That means you go forward, aim, boom, and you tell your partner, I hit high right. I hit dead center. But you have to keep good sight picture on as you do that. So look forward to that video coming up. Practice, practice, practice your dry fire. I recommend anywhere in between 100 and 200 trigger squeezes at least twice a week. I know I can't afford to go out to the range and fire 200 rounds every week. I don't have the time to do it. I've got a family. But you're going to want to practice that. It's not going to replace live fire, but getting in, practice that dry fire. Start with your feet. Make sure you have a good proper stance. Make sure your knees are bent appropriately. Body is in the right position. Again, you have all the time in the world here. If you feel yourself off balance, correct it and re-engage. This is going to be a fundamental practice to implement if you want to improve your accuracy with the handgun. Again, I'm Yoki Marks. We're here at Warriors Edge Armory. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below. We'll look forward to seeing you again next Thursday.